experience that I can remember is these beings coming through. It was through a wall, actually, in my room. And they would take me. Somehow, I ended up being able to go through the wall with them.
How old were you?
I'd say about 6 years old.
So what were you watching when they came through the wall? Did you actually see them come through the wall?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Describe that for me, please.
They looked like what I would say static. So, like light particles, and would more solidify once they came through the wall, and be a little more solid. And then I would watch my body do the same thing, and then I would move through the wall, and then I would be in a ship, like physically on a metal-ish, solid, I don't know that it was metal, but solid, cool surface.
Tyler at Secure Team put out a video a few days ago, jokingly saying that he was going to shut down his channel because a new report had come out where they said there was nobody out there. We're all alone in the universe. Now, much like Tyler, I don't put too much stock in this new report. I think there's probably something or someone out there somewhere. But the fact that life in outer space on other planets seems to be so rare tells me one thing. And that is simply what I said in many videos before this one. Outer space may not be teeming with life, or maybe it is somewhere we don't know. But I believe that there are many dimensions besides ours that are teeming with life. And I think that's where a lot of these UFOs and extraterrestrials come from. As one who studies a lot of religions, I've always found it interesting that the Quran refers to God or Allah as the creator of the worlds, plural, worlds. The Quran speaks of beings or life forms or worlds that we know nothing about or know of. The Quran goes on to say that some of the beings in these worlds serve God and others do not. And this makes sense to me because I've always believed and felt that if there's life out there, whether it be on another planet, in another solar system, in another dimension, that those life forms and worlds would be much like us. Some would be righteous and good and follow the way of love and light, and others the way of evil and darkness. I think this is where our concept of angels and demons comes in. Of course, I believe in angels, and I believe that there are evil spirits as well. But I also believe that there could be other beings out there who do visit us, and they could come to us as either a messenger of God or a deceptive, evil, harmful entity. So my answer to Tyler, as far as his joking video, is whether he should take his channel down because there's no life out there. Well, I think there's plenty of life out there, but we just need to point our instruments in a different direction. I think these things are coming from other dimensions. I've said it before. They walk through walls. They walk on air. And think about the Foo Fighters in World War I and World War II. These strange orbs of light that were seen flying through the sky. And the enemy thought that they were ours, and we thought that they belonged to the enemy that we were fighting. And a lot of these pilots said when they fired on these things, the bullets passed right through them. Folks, I feel that a lot of these things we call extraterrestrials are of a spiritual nature or a higher vibration. They are not flesh and blood. They are not technologically advanced societies. They are something that we don't quite understand. And the only way we can understand it is to say that it is spiritual, supernatural, or something of the like. How else does a being walk through a wall like a ghost, paralyze a human being on their bed, and then cause them to rise up and become lighter than air, and take them out through solid walls, the ceiling, closed doors, locked windows? This isn't technology, folks. This is something else. And even if there is some kind of technology that helps these beings to do this, their actions prove exactly what I'm saying, because they take people aboard these craft and do horrible things to them. Most abductees are petrified of these beings. They have nightmares and suffer from post-traumatic stress disorders. They can't sleep. They're afraid of the dark. And some of them don't even know why until they undergo hypnotherapy and uncover that they've had an abduction experience. I don't think the things coming through our walls and abducting people in the world are our space brothers and sisters at all. They're not our friends, and they don't have our best interest at heart. Now, I'm not saying that every UFO and light in the sky we see is evil and some awful being that's coming to wreak havoc, because I personally believe that there are some good ones, and that very, very possibly some of them could be angelic beings, just watching and observing what's happening on planet Earth. But these other experiences, they're not good in any way, shape, or form. And I feel one day that these things may make themselves known. And how many people are going to fall for it when they take the proverbial landing on the White House lawn? How many people will look at them and say, oh, these are our space brothers and sisters, our saviors from outer space. Oh, this is why they abducted us. Oh, it all makes sense now. It's all for the good. It's not going to be for the good. Don't believe these things. Once upon a time on planet Earth, people interacted with beings that we know nothing of. You look at some of these pyramids and ancient societies. How many of them say people from the stars or people from the sky helped them build these civilizations? And they all said that these beings would one day return. We may live in a day and age now where nothing really special is happening as far as supernatural or aliens or other. But I think that's going to change. I think the things that help shape some of the ancient civilizations are going to make a pretty big return one day. And when they do, Lord knows what's going to happen. Because some of those ancient civilizations made human sacrifices to these things upon their request. So we can't give in to the notion that, oh, these friendly, wonderful, smart beings from somewhere else helped civilizations years ago build these wonderful structures like pyramids and ancient cities and civilizations, and some of them are buried at the bottom of the sea, and Atlantis and whatever the other one is, Lemuria, I don't even know what that is. But people think that it's all good, but it's not. Horrible things were done in the name of these beings that some of the ancient civilizations considered gods. If one chooses to label these things as demonic, I don't think you're so far off base. And I think today's modern ufology needs to take the blinders off and stop looking so much at the stars and start looking at other dimensions, other realities. Because if there's one thing we know through channels like Secure Team and others like it, our skies are teeming with lights, unidentified flying objects, and things we don't know what they are. And you can't tell me that all this traffic is coming from galaxies and planets light years away just to zip in and zip back out again. No, they have to be a lot closer than that. And it makes sense to me that if they could just open a portal, come from their dimension into ours, that would explain why the skies are so filled with these things, and all different kind of craft that people see, different colored lights, different shapes. Is all this coming from far distant galaxies just to buzz in for a night and then head back home? I don't think so. And I think modern ufology needs to take a more serious look at that. Because keeping our eyes on the stars and thinking, well, they're space brothers, they're from the moon, they're from wherever they're supposed to be from, I think by and large that's looking in the wrong direction. And I think we're deceiving ourselves and setting ourselves up for a bigger deception down the line when these things make their return to planet Earth. And they will make their return. We have to be smart about this, folks. We have to be wise, and we have to be spiritually ready, or we're going to get caught up in something that we don't want to. Just research the behavior of some of these so-called extraterrestrials, and they behave more like ghosts and demons than they do men from Mars. And as I said in one of my previous videos, why is it that when there's a lot of UFO activity in one spot, or someone has an abduction experience, so many people have poltergeist-like activity in their homes after that? Why are the two so closely connected? Why would an alien visitation give way to a haunted house? It's all food for thought, and I think this is something that a lot of us need to think about, particularly those who are studying the UFO phenomenon in the modern day and age.